There are many great things about doing this podcast. One of them is meeting wonderful people, creating new connections and friendships. The other thing that I get to experience is hearing stories of women who took risks to create something, start a new business, or step out of their comfort zone to make their lives more fulfilling. And today's guest really did all three to bring a business to fruition that not only makes her clients feel and look their best, but creates a sense of community within the walls of her enterprise. She and I made an immediate connection in our first conversation a few weeks ago, and I wish I would have kept recording our conversation today as it evolved into a spiritual discussion about the practice of Reiki, which now I feel needs to be another topic for the podcast. Enjoy this show. Health, wellness, career, relationships, and everything in between. We're removing the taboo from what really matters in midlife. I'm your host, Michelle Folan, and this is Asking for a Friend. Welcome to the show, everyone. Mary Beth Schell joins us today. She is the owner of Cryo Ohio, which was formerly iCryo here in Hyde Park, Cincinnati, for local listeners. Welcome to the show, Mary Beth.
Thank you.
I wanted you to be on the show because I am personally very curious about cryotherapy. I'd love for you first to just tell us a little bit more about you, where you're from, what your background is, and all that good stuff.
I grew up here in Cincinnati, went to Catholic high school at Macaulay, up to Miami University, studied marketing, have a business degree in marketing. I had the normal sales jobs. I sold Coca-Cola, I sold Campbell's soup, then I sold pharmaceuticals, and I left the workforce to be a full-time mom for 10 years, 3 children. Then I started a small dancewear store. I had a little entrepreneurship there with my daughter being a dancer. A small company called Amazon hurts small local businesses like that. So I looked for a service job that I could bring to the city. My younger sister's a PhD, studies cancer research, and she said, you should try cryotherapy. This was 5 years ago. I had no idea what it was. She said, search it up, see what it does. She was in Germany at the time, and they do a lot of it in Europe. They're a little more forward thinking about this natural health stuff. So I did and decided to move forward with a cryotherapy wellness center.
You were an entrepreneur before, which I love, with the dance store, but this was a huge leap for you.
It was. It really was. My staff is 15. The dancewear was just me and a couple college kids. I used to say, it's just dancewear, it's just ballet shoes and tap shoes. But this is people, this is their health and their wellness. They look to us not only for the services, but I think it becomes a community, like a Cheers without the beer. We have a guest, he came in, we get to know him. He lost his mom. He texted and said, are you there? And I said, yeah, I think I want to come up. We just hung out and, of course, enjoyed services and things like that. It's a nice place. When I was building it out, I would bring friends or family and I'd say, how does it feel? The place is something I'm very proud of, just the physical building itself. My staff, I'm even more proud of them. I'm proud to work with them. They're all women like myself, part-time work. They all enjoy the services. That's probably why they work there. I don't even think they work there for the paycheck as much as the services. We love our guests, kind of like a gym. The more you use it, the more it becomes part of your lifestyle. You feel good. You have success stories. We're there with you throughout the journey.
That's really neat. I never thought about that so much. You go to the dentist, but you're only there twice a year. And I love my dentist, and it's a lovely place to go. But for you to have built a place where people feel great showing up, not just because of the aesthetic beauty of your place, but because they feel that there's a community there for them, like a support system. That's really neat.
Oh, there is. Stop by anytime. Meet my staff. I call them my secret sauce all the time, my staff.
Oh, you have nurses or a mix of both on your staff?
I have some nurses as we're going to start some IV therapy, hopefully in November. The state of Ohio is very conservative with a lot of strict rules and laws. We've been researching those, making sure that we cross all of our T's and dot all of our I's. I'll have a couple nurses And then the rest of us are just wellness junkies. I do have a dietitian.
Oh,
We talk about good food or good snacks, but we don't prescribe anything like that.
Whole Foods.
Good recipes, great appetizers to take to a party that's easy to make, yet not so bad for you. You're low on carbs, just things like that. That was our conversation yesterday. I have to provide snacks for Bunko. What am I going to do here? It's fun, I'm telling you. It's just a neat vibe.
Oh, that's great. One of the premises of the show, and this is where the name Asking for a Friend comes in, I will ask listeners, what questions would you have for someone that owns Cryotherapy Center? I did get some questions, and I was really happy with the engagement on this one.
Oh, good.
I think other people are curious too. The first question was around red light therapy. They were curious what the science was behind red light therapy. Is what you're doing different than those red light masks that we're seeing on Instagram that look like a bad Halloween costume?
It's all the same. First, I can tell you, and all of your listeners, go to pubmed.com. PubMed is part of Medline. You can search up anything that you're looking for. You could search up cryotherapy and pain, PBM, which is photobiomodulation. Photo for light, bio for living, modulation for movement. Maybe that will help you remember. You could search up PBM and pain, PBM and thyroid conditions, PBM and weight loss. Go there. I encourage everyone to use that resource. 34 million, I think. I was looking at it this morning before the call. Just lots of studies there. They're scientific. They're statistically significant. We learned that when we sold pharmaceuticals, that when you present something to a physician, X amount of people tried this drug and it had a statistical significance and efficacy of this. Some of these studies there have that. Some of them are not huge, robust with a big population of people who tried it. It's easy reading, abstract at the bottom. Go there first. Red light therapy is cellular. It's a stimulation of the flow of the electrons and the protons through the mitochondria and that respiratory chain. Basically, it makes our cells work better. I feel personally, it makes me digest my food better, or I'm using my food better. My fingernails look good for the first time in 50 years. I'm not kidding you. I have the worst fingernails. I even went and asked a physician, can I go to a dietitian? They're like, oh, no, not until you're sick. Are you sick? No, I just want my fingernails and my hair to be stronger and healthier. Is there something I should eat or add to my diet? They wouldn't hook me up with anyone because I wasn't diabetic or sick. The PBM light just increases that ATP synthesis through the cell. It is probably the same that you're seeing with the hats and the panels that you can hang in your bathroom. But our bed is the gold standard. It's a $70,000 bed. It's amazing. It's open-ended on each side. It's like a tanning bed, and it has a dome over the top. You pull that handle down. It's therapeutic at 12 minutes, but we put everyone in for 15. It's just a blanket of light. Something came up yesterday. One of my guests asked, well, I wear sunscreen on my face. Is that going to affect it? And it doesn't, because it's not UV light. It's not bad light. You're not going to get a suntan. It's not hot. It does get a little warm if we run the machine continuously. It's just a blanket of light that can be used for inflammation. It's good for your skin. It's good for your scar. It helps bone repair. NASA started using PBM years ago for their astronauts who were floating around without gravity and how to make them healthier. It just helps just synthesize that cellular growth.
That is so cool. The other thing I've seen are infrared saunas. Is it the same thing where you would have infrared light inside of a sauna?
We do have infrared saunas. We do a lot of fire and ice. We put you in the sauna and make you hot, sweaty. Then we dry you off and we put you in a whole body cryotherapy chamber. They've been doing that in Europe for years as well. Finland has more saunas than people. There's a great doctor to look for, Dr. Rhonda Patrick. She's a PhD and she talks a lot about saunas. The infrared light in the saunas is, well, I make this comparison. Our whole body cryotherapy is an ice bath on steroids. Then we have a local cryotherapy, and that's like an ice pack on steroids. Our PBM machine is like that whole body cryotherapy. It's that whole hammer. We're giving it all she's got, Captain. The infrared is like that you can kind of get a little dose. You have to be close to the infrared, and you are in the sauna. You're 2 or 3 feet away from them. There's some near, mid, and far and stuff like that. And it's helpful. The PBM bed is the new health and wellness gadget that's really hitting the market, and people are really starting to talk about it.
I'm beyond curious now. I'm intrigued. Let's just call it that. I'm putting you in my calendar and I'm coming down for a visit. Since we started talking about cryotherapy, why don't we go ahead and jump into that, because there were quite a few questions from listeners around that. In regard to the effects of cryotherapy on your well-being, if I come to your center, are most people doing cryotherapy for body sculpting type of purposes, or are they doing it for the feeling of well-being?
The feeling of well-being. We do have a cool sculpting machine. That's a whole nother room where the hot and cold will help the stubborn fat. It's interesting that you brought that up. I have a guest who plateaued in his weight loss journey. He happens to be my brother-in-law. He said, "Do you think if I came and cryoed it would help?" And I said, "Can't hurt. Let's give it a try." And it has helped. He's just 7 or 8 days now in a row. He was stuck at that plateau and he started triggering, I think, 2 or 3 more pounds. He's just doing it with diet and exercise. It does help with that. And the cryotherapy, unlike the PBM, is circulatory. It's helping your body and your blood pass through, rushes to your core organs in a fight or flight. It comes down. The chamber has the fans on the top. It's an electric chamber where some of the others in town are nitrogen. The nitrogen's pumped up from the bottom. But our chamber is electric, so it falls upon you. It hits your vagus nerve in the back of your neck. We tell women, pull your hair up. It helps treat mood disorders because it increases adrenaline, noradrenaline, endorphins. Like I said, your blood rushes to your core organs, oxygenates, and then comes back out to those painful areas. That's how it helps with the pain, with the mood disorders. We've had people for migraines because it passes through the intracranial vessels. There's some science behind it. It's been around for years. The Japanese started doing it in 1978 for arthritis. They knew if they could get these people to move, they'd feel better. But when you have arthritis, you don't want to move. The doctor's like, well, heat doesn't work. Let's try making it cold. A temporary freezing of the nerve endings is what the doctor was thinking. Let's take that pain away for a while, get them to move. So that's where cryotherapy started. And now we just find all kinds of fun ways. Sports performance, recovery from injuries. One of my employees, Amy, she's like, no one ever comes out of that thing angry, because you come out like, whoa! It feels great.
Do you have to psych yourself up a little bit before you get into the cryo chamber?
A little, yes. But I think it's one of those things, once you've experienced, you know the expectation. A couple things we do. It's a glass front, but it's frosted, so you do have a little privacy. We cover your hands and your feet with dry, clean socks. We do laundry all day long. When you're cold and your hands and feet are cold, you're miserable. In the chamber, your hands and feet are never cold because we put gloves on them and socks and slippers on your feet. We cover your ears. You can cover your nose and mouth if you'd like, but most of us like the cold. It's an exercise of the collagen and the elastin in your face. I just kind of cover my nose with my gloves if it gets cold. I like to breathe that deep air in. Remember, I told you my sister in Germany, she's asthmatic. In Germany, they don't cover any. They get in together. They have big ones. They're not as modest as we are here in the United States. Breathing in that cold air helped her asthma. It didn't cure it, but she was able to back off that inhaled corticosteroid and that rescue medicine because that cold air helped the inflammation in her lungs. It helps with allergies because that histamine is in your body telling your body, oh my gosh, there's an allergen. Let's get it, get it, get it. But it helps with that a little bit as well. It helps one time, but it helps more if you use it like a gym. You don't go get your muscles one day at the gym, but it helps long term that way.
Very cool.
We always say it's a cool place for a hot date. So bring your husband. One other thing to psych yourself up, we turn on music. We have speakers blaring, and you can get through 3.5 minutes with any good song.
That was going to be my next question because I'm claustrophobic.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could do the red light bed, but being enclosed in a chamber, if it's only 3.5 minutes, I think I could do that.
We see you. It's a big glass door. It's a giant freezer. We open the door, we put you in. Like I said, it's frosted from about your shoulders down. Not that you're naked. Women wear sports bras and shorts. Men can just wear shorts. You can dance around and you can push out at any time. There's lights that come up the side and give you a timer so you can anticipate. Or you can use the same song and you know when you sing through your song, you're done.
That's great. You had mentioned something about IV infusions. I know some people do hydration type of infusions. Are you guys doing that right now?
Not right now. We're hoping to get started in November. My head nurse had a baby, so she took some time off. I had to get a local physician. We're doing it by the book, by what Ohio tells us to do. You need to have a local physician. You need to have a telemed or a physical visit with the doctor beforehand. So we've been working on that. We found 2 local physicians to work with us. So you're going to want to check your blood pressure. You're going to want to make sure you don't have any concomitant disease states. We have that all in place. It will be a better absorption of the vitamins and the minerals that we give you. There's some protection because you could bulk up on vitamin C or zinc. It's a new vogue too, especially for Ohio. Mark Twain said, if I die, I want to die in Cincinnati because they're 10 years behind the times.
Oh my God, you're not kidding. We're getting better though. Come on, Mary Beth.
We are. Oh, absolutely. The internet has helped tremendously. That's a joke. You've heard about it out in Vegas for years.
Oh, yeah.
We're trying to do everything right. You do want to know that you want to visit with a physician. You have to be cleared by a physician per the Ohio Board of Pharmacy. Folks, if you're going out there and getting these IVs at some of these places, make sure that this is happening. We're responsible for our health. Some places just want to make money.
I have seen these IV infusion places. I always look at them as the hangover post Friday or Saturday night bender recovery places. But I can see where doing this could be great if you're post flu or some kind of illness, if you're post surgery and you just need to get back on your feet. It just seems like a really nice thing that you guys are going to offer.
I think the coolest one that we're going to have is all around health and wellness is NAD+. It's for anti-aging. And again, it's that cellular. It's like the PBM machine. It's that oxidative stress. It's making the cells work better together. I'm not making any medical claims here. With Alzheimer's, dementia, higher doses of it are used for drug addiction, opioid. And that's where NAD started, I think, with the opioid and things like that. At lower doses, 250 is anti-aging, 500 is the dementia, Parkinson's. You load it in and you maintain it once a month. That's the one I'm really excited for. My mom suffers from dementia. I can't wait to get her in. See if it helps preserve her memory a little bit. And I just want to look young again.
Let's admit it.
I'm not afraid to say it.
The NAD, is that an infusion as well?
It is. It's one that you really have to watch the rate in which it flows into your body because it's really hitting those cells and unlocking that oxidative stress. You can have side effects if it enters too quickly. The nurses have to watch that. I don't think there's any contraindications. Of course, pregnancy, we don't do anything with pregnancy. Blood pressure, if it's too high, we can't infuse you. Liver or kidney, I think, is going to be a doctor call, things like that. You'll be meeting with a doctor prior to your IVs when you come to our center.
You did talk about doing some body sculpting. You said you are doing cool sculpting?
We do. We have a machine. I think it's from Poland. It's called Cryoskin. I'm not an expert on everything that's out there, but I can tell you what ours does and how it compares to some of the others. Some of the others, I think they take let's just call it your pocket of fat, and we'll just say your love handle. And it sucks it in and holds it, and then it freezes that section. Through apoptosis, your body rids, which is your lymphatic system, rids that stressed out fat cell. Ours doesn't suck it in, it's a puck. We belt these pucks, again, we'll stick with your abdomen, around your belly, your love handles. Through hot and cold, it stresses the fat cell, and then over 14 days, your body rids the fat cell. We can use that cold technology for toning and tightening. We have a really nice toning facial. We have great pictures. That's the same thing. A lot of our services are load in, like PBM, load in like 6 sessions, then come once or twice a week and maintain. With the toning facials, do 3 of them, maybe every other day, and then maintain. You're going to get tightening and toning of your wrinkles and your forehead, and your jowl's going to lift a little bit here. I can show you pictures. Our staff's done it. We've done it. The body sculpting is something to add to. It's not magic. I don't want to oversell this. If you're on a weight loss journey and you're watching your diet and you're exercising and you're drinking a lot of water, come in and see us and we'll help with that little bit of stubborn, we'll just say again, around your middle. But it's not a magic wand. It's not use this service 3 times, but you are gradually going to lose inches around that stubborn fat. Once that fat cell is destroyed, it's gone. And it's a little more natural because ours are like pucks that go around. It doesn't take that one section and rid it. The puck is probably 3 or 4 inches round, and then 2 to 3 inches around that is the area that it treats.
Oh.
About 5 inches at a time all the way around.
What's interesting to me, Mary Beth, is that So much of this technology does come out of Europe. They seem to be not just looking at the aesthetic research, but also the health and wellness research that maybe we're not doing as much of here in the United States. I don't know if you get a sense of that at all, being in this industry.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Some of the equipment that we look at starts there. The R&D of how to make these machines bigger and better, how to make them commercially available rather than medically available. PBM is LLLT, low level light therapy. Well, we've been using lasers in medicine for a long time. You can have something lasered off with burn off. I've had lasers on my face to get rid of sunspots and things like that. But nobody knew how to make it reasonable for us to use daily. But yeah, they do. They got it all figured out over there. We're just copycats.
Yeah. I follow quite a few women from Europe, like the UK and some other places. They talk about it more. They talk about getting tweakments.
I love that.
Don't you love that? Instead of treatments, it's tweakment. It can be little things that we do for our faces and our bodies that give us a boost of confidence. To me, it's a form of self-care beyond a nice face cream, working out, eating cleanly. That's why I was really super curious about what you're doing, because I have talked to a few people that have done cryotherapy. I don't want to say they get addicted, but there has to be something else going on here besides the exterior appearance of nicer skin, more toned skin. There is a overall feeling of wellness that I don't think we can downplay. I think you're not too much younger than I am. You're in your 50s, I think.
I'm 52, yeah.
With midlife and menopause comes a lot of stress and anxiety. This happened to me a couple weeks ago where I had this unexplained bout of anxiety. When I think of things like this, because I don't really want to take medication for those types of things, just to know that something like this is available where I can go and have a nice relaxing treatment, maybe work on my outsides a little bit, but also work on my insides.
One thing I forgot to mention with most of the services, PBM, one of the first side effects, if you will, is when it unlocks that oxidative stress from the end of your cell, it releases that oxygen into your bloodstream, so you have vasodilation, and then it increases your melatonin naturally. Your first side effect is you're going to sleep better. The same thing with the chamber. I mentioned fire and ice. Sit in the sauna for 30 minutes. You're burning 500 to 600 calories sitting there. You're sweating. You're detoxifying. You're increasing circulation in your bloodstream. Your heart's pumping a little faster. It emulates a workout. Then we throw you in that whole body cryotherapy chamber and you're going to burn another 500 calories. But guess what? It's also going to help your sleep better. It's going to increase those endorphins and you're going to feel better. The sleep, I don't know about you, but I feel women struggle with sleep. And then you get something that comes into your life like children, a problem, work, inflation, name it, and you don't sleep. Then you don't feel well either. Unfortunately, all of our side effects are good sleep. Or fortunately, I should say.
I know. If there was a magic pill, we would all be taking it. Doing some simple lifestyle changes in regard to our sleep has helped me a great deal. Can't overlook stress from family, children, and work related, of course. I have found that eating more whole foods, which I know you coach your guests about that,
right?
Getting early morning sunlight to help with our circadian rhythm, reset your clock, that always helps. Getting at least 30 minutes a day of some cardio. I mean, it can be a walk around your neighborhood. That's a good one. Limit your caffeine in the afternoons. We all have that one friend that could drink a double espresso at 10 o'clock at night and sleep like a baby.
Not me.
No.
Not me. The first thing that struggles is my sleep.
Me too. I don't like to preach, but it's the alcohol consumption. I think that is the big one too. Just even one glass of wine can keep me up at night.
Oh, sure. Your body burns that alcohol, boosts, wakes right up, and there you go. You're up for the night. Ruined.
You're ruined. It's the classic. You wake up at 3 and you fall back to sleep at 6.
And the alarm goes off at 6:45.
Uh-huh.
It's awful.
Every time.
Terrible.
I read on your website about vitamin shots. Are you all doing that currently?
That'll start with the IVs in November, we hope. Glutathione, vitamin C, there's a lipo B, I think helps with weight loss. Don't know all of that. You're going to want to come and talk to the doctor and our nurses. You can come up with a plan. We're trying to make it very affordable. Everything we do, it works if you use it. We try not to price it out of the market. We have guest passes, things like that. The vitamin shots are going to be cool, really cool to add on and have. The difference is the bioavailability of the nutraceuticals going into the IV as well as the IM. You'll get better absorption, faster uptake, things like that.
Very interesting. This was so worth it for me, just from a personal standpoint, being in this age group, which is midlife.
It is.
Believe it or not, Mary Beth, I have a lot of listeners that are in their 20s and 30s, which I was really surprised to find out. I don't want to make this sound like this is only something for us midlifers to pursue. I think there's benefits for anybody, right?
Oh, absolutely. This just came to mind when you said younger. There was an article in one of the Glamour or Cosmo magazines, I'm not sure which, and they called it Frotox instead of Botox. The whole article was, hey, young ladies, don't start so young with Botox. Do natural things like Frotox, which is a cryofacial, which is using cold and hot just to take care of your skin and tighten and tone. When you're 20 and you think, oh, look at my wrinkles. They don't know wrinkles until you hit the 50.
I've been doing Botox for 10 years.
It's okay.
Listen, we call them tweakments.
They're tweakments. It's a small tweakment.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
Can you run down for me real quick what would be involved in a cryofacial, just so people know what to expect?
A cryofacial is about 35 to 40 minutes. We cleanse the face. We use a gel. We'll put the gel on your face, and then we use a puck that just goes over your face, and then we follow it with our hand for a hot and cold. There's vasoconstriction, vasodilation. We start at the neck, move up the chin, and do one side at a time. There's a little coupler that's a little smaller so we can get around the eyes and the mouth. Then we move to the other side and do that. So we work one side at a time. It's lovely. It's relaxing. It's just a different type of facial. That gel conducts the cold from the wand and tightens and tones the skin. It's a neat concept.
It is a neat concept. Is there heat involved in that too, or is it just the cryofacial?
The heat of your hand is that puck will, let's just say your chin. It starts in the middle of your chin, comes up to your ear, and then we follow that with our hand. The hand is a little bit of heat.
Got it. Very interesting.
I know. Those Europeans, they got it all figured out.
I know. You may have a new customer.
Come on. We do have fun.
This was delightful.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for answering all my questions and our listeners' questions. Just dispelling any myths or misunderstandings about cryotherapy and everything it can do.
It's not an end-all be-all cure for anything, but I'm telling you what, nobody comes out of that cryotherapy chamber upset. They come out happy and ready to go.
That's awesome. Mary Beth, thank you so much for being a guest today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I really appreciate it. Follow Asking for a Friend on social media outlets and provide a review and share this show wherever you get your podcasts. Reviews and sharing help us grow.